Good evening, everyone. Today we are going to cover data file handling in Python. We'll be doing CSV files, text files, and binary files. We'll be learning about how to create these files, how to access these files, and how to manipulate the content of these files. When you look at the first slide of the presentation, you can see there is a text file with the name meet4. I am reading the text file with the help of read lines, and with the help of for loop, the content which is captured with the help of read lines is displayed line by line. So in green box, you can see the content which got displayed from the program. On the other side, the same content as it is a text file can be seen in Notepad also. As far as CBSE curriculum is concerned, we are supposed to be doing file handling, need for data files, types of files, text files, binary files, and CSV files. CSV files means comma separated values file. In text files, we'll be doing basic operations on a file, open, file name, absolute or relative path, mode, close a text file, reading and manipulation of data from a text file, appending data into a text file, standard input output, and error streams. Once again, relative and absolute path. Binary files, we'll be doing basic operations on a binary file, open, close, pickle module, methods, load and dump, read, write, create, search, append, and update operation in a binary file. As far as CSV files are concerned, we'll be learning how to import CSV module. We'll be learning about open and close CSV file, read from a CSV file, write into a CSV file using CSV reader and CSV write row. Look at this screen. On this screen, you can see the content from each of these types of files. Text file contains the text exactly in the same manner as it has been typed by the user. When you look at the content inside the file, it will be seen exactly in the same manner when it is loaded in the text editor. Whereas when we look at binary file, in the program, if the content goes in the form of a list, when you load binary file in a Notepad or any text editor, the content is going to look like this box. This box contains the similar kind of view which is going to be seen by you in Notepad. As far as CSV files are concerned, CSV files are also variation of text file only, which can be loaded in any text editor and can be viewed exactly in the same manner as they have been created. The only thing is, in CSV files, in each line, each value will be separated by comma and new line character to move to the next line of content. Now, best thing about CSV files is that CSV files can be loaded in directly in any spreadsheet tool like Google Sheet or Excel. Like you can see the content shown in spreadsheet tool. Now, as far as absolute file path is concerned, is nothing but the complete address of the location of the file. For example, you can see there is a new folder. Under new folder, you have project folder. Under project folder, there is a file called file.txt. You may or may not have the drive letter. Like in this case, we are specifying drive letter also. So you have c:/myproject/file.txt. So as and when you are specifying the full path along with the file name, it is known as absolute file path. When we talk about relative file path, we just have to specify the name of the file, whatever is going to be working directory or currently open directory in which we are running our program. Then we can specify the name of the file directly. For example, if you write file.txt, so if you are working in the root directory at present, this file will be loaded from root directory. If you are working in any other folder or directory, this file will be loaded from there. Now, before starting with files, first of all, you have to learn how to open file in Python. To open a file in Python, we specify file object equal to, we call open function, which has two or more number of parameters. The first two parameters of open function are file name. This file name is the name of the physical file, which is enclosed inside double quotes or single quotes, or you can simply use a string type variable to specify the name of the file. Mode, the file can be opened in three different modes: R for read, W for write, A for append. If at all you want to perform read and write operations together, then in that case you will be specifying the file mode as R and plus together. Once the file is opened, after that you can perform the file operation, and at the end, when all operations on the file are over, then in that case, you will be calling close function. Close function do not carry any parameter. So you will be writing file object dot close. So close is a method which is going to be called from the file object. You can look at the example where we are writing f is equal to open. We are specifying the name of the file. Notes.txt, here we are using relative path. So whichever is the working directory or the present directory, from there it will load notes.txt and it is going to be opened in read mode. Once the file is opened, we can perform read lines operation. With the help of read line, we can load the complete content of file into a variable called lines. So after this, if I write print lines, it is going to give you list of strings, which is going to be the entire content of notes.txt. If this notes.txt is not in the current directory, if it is somewhere else, we can make use of absolute path. For example, in this case, if you want to load this particular file from another folder, which is in C drive, so we'll be writing C:/my project / name of the file along with the mode. There is one more way you can open and close files. So you can look at the alternate 2, where we start with keyword with, we write open. Inside the bracket, we'll be specifying two parameters, the name of the file, the name of the physical file along with mode, and then you'll be using as a keyword, and next to that, you will be writing file object. So if you see the difference between the earlier method of opening and this method of opening, in earlier method of opening, we were writing file object equal to open, and in this case, we are writing as file object. As soon as you are using with command, you have to put colon at the end, and in indented area under with, you will be specifying the file operation. Best thing about opening and closing the file with this way is you do not have to specify close. As soon as the indentation statements get over, your file will be automatically closed. So you can look at the same example which was shown in the earlier case. Here we are opening the file notes.txt in R mode, and the name of the object, file object, is F. So we'll be just reading the entire content from here with the help of read lines, dumping the content into lines variable, and we are displaying in one go. So this is going to display list of string. Now, apart from opening and closing of files, we should know the difference between three different methods by which we can make use of reading the content. Now, one, we can read the content from a file with the help of read, and if we do not specify any parameter in read, it is going to read the entire content as strings. So as soon as you open the file in read mode, so by default, if the file mode is not specified, the file is considered to be opened in read mode. So here we have not written comma R. So if we do not specify any mode while opening the file, it is automatically taken as read mode. So you can see here we have opened the file. After opening the file, if we are writing L is equal to f dot read, it is going to read the entire content of the file. Once entire content is loaded in L, we can simply write print L. So it is going to display the entire content. Let's assume the file was containing 3 lines in it. Wishing you a peaceful day. Another very important point about read is that read also allows one parameter. So here we have to specify how many characters you want to extract from the file. So if instead of no parameter, you specify this parameter as 4, it is going to extract 4 next characters from beginning. So it is going to read the very first 4 characters from the file and it will display. So you can see the full content is displayed here. On this side, you can see only the first 4 letters are read and displayed. So with the help of f.read4, it has read only first 4 characters. Once you have read first 4 characters, the file cursor is going to move to the 5th position. So if you repeat the command f.read, and this time if you are writing 3 as the parameter, in that case it is going to read next 3 characters from the file. So next 3 characters in the file were ing, so ing will get displayed. So read is going to use one parameter or no parameter. So if there is no parameter used, that means it is going to read the entire content of the file. Whereas if read is used along with the parameter, it is going to extract next n number of characters depending on what value of n specified by the user. That many characters will be extracted from the present location of file cursor. Other two commands for reading content from file are readline and readlines. Readline helps you to extract one line, that is one string, from the file, whereas readlines help you to extract the entire content from the file. But this time it is not going to be like read with no parameters. It is going to be extracting list of strings. So first of all, let's look at the first example here. So if I am opening the file without any parameter as mode, this file will be opened in read mode. And if I extract the information from file with the help of read line with no parameter here, it is going to extract very first line from the file. If you recall, the content of the file was wishing you a peaceful day. So the first line of that content was wishing. So with the help of f.readline, in L, we'll extract wishing. In the second case, instead of using read line, if you try using read lines, it is going to extract the entire content, but the entire content will not be extracted as string, but it is going to be extracted as list of string. So you can see here the same content which you saw with read was wishing you a peaceful day. Now this time it is going to be enclosed inside square braces, and you will be having each string with the entire content along with new line characters. Now read line can also have one parameter, but as soon as you put that parameter, it will start behaving as read. So there is no difference in writing read 4 and read line 4. It is going to extract as many as characters as specified inside the parameter. So if you write read line 4 and you write read 4, they are going to carry identical meaning. So there is no point of using a parameter with read line. You will be using the parameter only with read. Now, this is another program where we are trying to create content with users input. So you can see we are opening the file with the help of A option. A means append. So if I am using A, if the file is not existing, it will be created. If file is existing, the file cursor will move to the last position after the last row of the file, and from there onwards it will start adding the new content whichever is added in the file. So you can see we are using a while loop. In while loop, we are taking input as line from the user, and then that line which is entered by the user as a string, that will be written on the file. And then if the length of line is 0, that means user has not entered anything and just has pressed enter key. In that case, we'll terminate the loop. That means we'll keep on writing the content till a point when user will enter no content and will press enter key. So you can see here we have entered hello as the first line, world of as the second line, smiles as third line. So as soon as there will be a null entry, the loop will get terminated. But that null entry will also be entered in the file according to our logic. So if you don't want that null line to be added at the end, then this if statement, instead of putting after f.write, you will be putting it before f.write, so that you will be having exact 3 lines entered inside the file. Next, if you want to read the information, from the file which you created, you will make use of one exception as file not found error, because when you're reading, you have to be really careful about that file is existing or not. If the file will not be existing and if you try reading the content, obviously it will raise an exception, and that exception is going to be file not found error. So instead, the system generates this exception. You can make use of your own try exception code so that you can display the message the way you want to display in the code. So here we are opening the file in read mode, and with the help of for loop, we are extracting input from the file. So you can see we are writing f.read I. That means first time it is going to read first one character from the file, and you will be displaying that. So if you remember, our first content was H, so that will be extracted. Second time, the loop will move up and make the change in value of I as 2. So it will be extracting next two characters, which is E and L. E and L will be displayed, and then I will become 3. And when I will become 3, you will be extracting next three characters, which are going to be L, O, and W. And then in the last step, when I will become 4, it will be extracting 4 characters, which is O, R, L, D. So if your file is existing with the content as hello world, this is going to be the output. And if at all this wishes1.txt is not existing in the disk, in that case, it is going to raise an exception as file not found error, and it will display a message as file not found. Okay. Now, there is another way of doing the same thing. So instead of opening file like this, if we open file like this, obviously we will not be requiring f.close at the end. That is the only difference, and rest of the logic will remain unchanged. Now, look at this particular code. In this particular code, what we are doing, we are simply creating a text file, and we are allowing UTF-16 encoding format. So with the help of this format, we will be allowed to enter the content in any language. So it is Unicode format 16. So it will allow us to type in Hindi, it will allow us to type in Urdu, we can also type in English. So all the languages will be supported in UTF-16. By default, your encoding character set is going to be ASCII. In ASCII, only English letters are recognized. So in this particular code, I wanted to add 3 different languages, and that is why instead of leaving it as default ASCII, we have changed it to encoding as UTF-16. So in this particular case, what we are doing, we are just simply allowing user to enter a string, and that string is going to be written on the file. And with the help of this loop, user will be allowed to type any number of lines, and then each line after his typing will be transferred to the file with a new line character. In this particular code, we are trying to read the same content which has been created in wishes.txt. The file is opened this time in read mode, and encoding is going to be same as UTF-16, because if the file has been created with the help of encoding as UTF-16, it cannot be retrieved back in ASCII. So it is better that whenever you are writing codes which have been used with UTF-16, so all the codes will be used as UTF-16 only. So in this case, we are making use of try except, so that if the file not found error is there, it will be raised. So here we'll be reading the entire content of the file, which is going to be list of strings. And with the help of for I in L, we'll be extracting each string separately. So it is going to display the entire content of the file. With the help of A option, keeping the entire code of creation same, only difference is going to be instead of writing W here, we are writing here A. So we'll be allowed to add more content at the bottom of the file. Now, this is the main code from where all these 3 functions will be called. And you can notice that if we are entering the option as S, we have called the very first function in which user is allowed to type in any language. So in Hindi, we are typing Aapka Dhanyavad, and after that we are typing Y, and in Arabic, we are writing shukriya, and then it is shukran basically. So if we write no here, so 2 lines have been added in the file wish.txt. Second time, if you are giving option as A, this time you will once again allowed to type a line or some more lines. So here we are typing in English, thank you, and then we are saying no. We'll come back in the menu again. This time, if we'll write R, that means the function which is responsible for displaying the content will be called, and you can see the entire content displayed as Aapka Dhanyawad, Shukran, and thank you. At the end, if you want to terminate the loop, you will be clicking on Q, that is going to quit. So this particular menu will help you to navigate through all the functions. So this is going to be kept at the bottom of the program. After writing all 3 functions which we wrote, we'll be writing this particular loop so that all the functions can be navigated by the user. This is another example where we assume that a file is already existing and the file is containing hello, how are you? And you are reading the content of the file. So you can just make use of try except for handling the exception. If the file does not exist, it is going to display file not found. And if it exists, it is going to read all lines. And with the help of the first loop, we'll be extracting each line from the file. And with the help of second loop, where instead of writing w in I, we are writing w in I dot split. By doing this, it is going to break that string into separate words. So as you already know, that split helps you to break down the string into words. By default, it takes space as splitting character, and that is how it is going to extract words. So w in I dot split is going to extract each word separately, and you are going to display each word, and after displaying that word, you will be displaying star. That means when you will be displaying the content of hello, how are you, which has been created by you, you will see while displaying each word will be terminated with star. So hello star, how star, r star, and you question mark star will be displayed. So with the help of Q, you can quit from the menu. And in place of this second loop, if we are writing this as the loop, we'll be able to display each word separately in separate lines. So you can see hello, how are you displayed in 4 separate lines. So depending on what is the question and what is the requirement, you can decide on how to extract word and how to make use of extracted word. Now, this is a very common example which we have been doing earlier also, which is going to help you count number of vowels present in a text file. What you can do, you can open the file, read mode, and assign a variable as 0v, and then extract one word, one character, not one word, one character out of the file. Check if it is not empty, then you will check whether it is one of the vowels or not. So you have to check small letters as well as capital letters. So you have put it inside the string. So if C is found in any of these alphabets, then vowel will be incremented. Otherwise, it will simply move to the next character in the file. Whenever it will find C as null character, in that case, the loop will be terminated. So when the loop will be terminated, the value of last stored value in V will be displayed. So you can see, assuming the content of the file as hello world of peace, it will simply extract and count number of vowel letters. So in this case, you can see in hello, you have 2 vowels. In world of, you will be having 2 more, that is 4. And in peace, you have 3 vowels. So 4 and 3 is going to make it 7. So 7 will get displayed from this logic. Next, reverse and display each line of text. That means you have to read each line separately and then you have to reverse it. So you will be opening the file this time once again in read mode, and you will be writing L is equal to f.readlines, which is going to be list of string. With the help of for I in L, you are extracting each string out of the list, and then with the help of slicing of string, you will be reversing and displaying the content without making any change in the string. As you already know, string is a immutable data type. We are not making the change in the content of the string, but we are extracting, we are returning the new string out of this slicing logic. So if I am writing colon colon -1, it is going to give you the reversed content of string. So with the help of I in L, I have extracted each line separately, and each line's reversed content will get displayed with the help of this for loop. So you can see hello is reversed here, world of is reversed here, and peace. Next, counting alphabets, digits, and spaces. We'll go with the same kind of logic, and this time we can make use of double for loop. So I just tried to give you two different kind of logic. In the first one, I have used extracting each character separately, and if at all you have extracted the entire content of the file with the help of f.readlines, you can make use of two loops. The first loop is going to be extracting strings from the list, and the second loop will extract each character from the string. And once that character is extracted, you can check whether it is alpha or not. This will be a simple logic, and you can also think of writing a complicated logic as c.lower in all 26 alphabets. For counting and checking whether it is digit or not, you can make use of isDigit method, and instead of writing isDigit method, you can also write C in 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 as a string content. So if it is alphabet, you will be adding value in A, signed in the beginning as 0, and incremented every time whenever alphabet will be encountered. Second one is digit, and if it is true, D will be incremented by 1, which was initially given a value as 0. So every time a digit will be encountered in the content, D will be incremented. As soon as you will be getting a space variable's content will get incremented. S is also initialized as 0 in the beginning, and depending on the number of spaces, that many times S will be incremented. And once both the loops will get over, at that time you will be displaying the final values of A, S, A, D, and S. So you will be having the output displayed like this, and if the file does not exist, in that case file not found error will be displayed. So you can see here, assuming the content of the wishes.txt as 1 sun, 9 planets all around us, you can see there are 2 digits and there are 21 alphabets and 5 spaces. Next we have displaying lines ending with Y or Y. We can have another program as displaying lines starting with some alphabet. I have taken the second one because here we'll be using a different kind of logic, different than what usually we do. You can see we are extracting all the lines with the help of f.readlines, and with the help of for I in L, we are extracting each string out of the list of strings. We are taking out the size of the string, and then instead of writing I L minus 1, we are writing I L minus 2. Reason of that, in the last character /n, that is new line character, is stored, and that is why we'll be writing L minus 2, whether it is lying in Y or not. That means it is going to be equivalent to ending with Y or Y, capital or small. Instead of writing these two lines, we can simply write one if statement as if I minus 2, that is going to play with negative indexing, that is last character, because minus 1 will carry new line character, so we'll be writing minus 2 so that it will extract the last content of the string. If it is small y or capital Y, it is simply going to display that particular string. So you can see here, if the content is wishing you a peaceful day, smiling day, so it is going to display two lines here which are ending with Y. And if the file is not existing, obviously the exception will be raised as file not found. This example is going to be changing lowercase letters to uppercase letters and uppercase letters to lowercase letters without creating a new file. So in the same file, you will be updating the content. So wherever it will encounter lowercase, it will turn it into uppercase, and wherever it is uppercase, it will turn into lowercase. So you'll be opening the file this time with the help of R+. R+ means it is going to allow you to read as well as write. With the help of this loop, you will take the current position of the file cursor, which is going to be 0 obviously in the beginning, and then you will read very first character from the file, and then you will check if it is not equal to null. In that case, you will be checking whether it is uppercase or not. If it is uppercase, you will simply change it to lowercase, and if it is found as lowercase, you will change it to uppercase. Once the change has happened, you have to move the file cursor back to the previous location from where the last character was extracted, and once you go back to that position, you will be displaying that in the file. So the same place from where the lowercase letter was picked up, the same place the uppercase letter of the same letter will be substituted. So this way, when you will scroll through this loop, the content will change with all uppercase letters into lowercase letters and all lowercase letters into uppercase letters. Next, these are two more simple codes. So I didn't write the entire code for it because it is very simple to understand. If we want to display alternate lines of a file that is at index 0, 2, and 4, will be simply extracting the entire content of the file in L, and with the help of for loop, we will be displaying alternate lines only, and for that we'll be writing a loop for I in range 0 len L comma 2. So it is going to be displaying first line, third line, fifth line, seventh line, and so on. The second problem is displaying the content of a file in reverse order. That means last line first and first line last. In that case, we'll be reading the entire content of the file, and we'll be running the loop in the reversed order with the help of slicing. So it will read the last string first and the first string last. Next, we are going to do binary files. Binary files are any files in which the content is not saved in readable sequence of characters when opened in any text editor. So basically, if you try opening JPG file in text editor, or you try opening MP3 file in text editor, or you try opening Word document in text editor, the content which is going to be shown to you on screen will not be readable. That means the meaning out of that content you will not be able to extract. So all such kind of files which get converted at the time when they are saved into file are known as binary files. So the data stored as a collection in the form of list or dictionary or object of a class will also come under binary file, which we are going to do here, where the data other than string will be converted to its byte equivalent or ASCII or Unicode character before it is being saved. In Python, files are opened in text mode by default, and so to open files in binary mode, you have to specify something else along with that, and that something else is nothing but B. So if you want to open the file in read mode, you will be writing RB instead of writing R. If you want to open the file in write mode, you will be writing WB instead of writing W. If you want to open the file in append mode, you will be writing AB, that is append binary. And for read write mode, you can write AB plus or RB plus. In Python, binary files can be created using pickle, JSON, or cpickle. JSON is nothing but JavaScript object notation. Pickle is used for serializing or deserializing Python collection. Object structures. Serialization refers to the process of converting collections objects in memory to a byte stream that can be stored on disk or sent over a network. Later on, this character stream can then be retrieved and deserialized back to a Python object. Pickle is a specific to Python module only, thus cross language, even cross versions of Python compatibility issues will be there. So you have to be very, very careful. Don't expect it to the pickle file to open in a C++ program or Java program. So it is going to work only in Python, and some version related issues are also there. So if you have a 2.7 version Python and you have created a pickled module with the pickled content with the help of 2.7 version and you try opening it in 3.8, it may or may not give you the same result. We can pickle collection object with the following data type, and the data types are booleans, integers, floats, complex numbers, normal or Unicode strings, tuples, lists, sets, and dictionaries that contain pickleable objects. So these are the examples of the objects which can be pickled. Now, when you have to write the content in the pickled file, you will be making use of dump. And if you have to read the content from the file, you will be using load. So these are two methods which are going to be very important in pickled files. So basically, when you will be dumping, basically from collection, your content will be moving to the file object where it is going to be saved on the physical file. When you will be making use of load, from the file object, the data will be extracted into a collection or object and it can be displayed to the user. These are two simple examples where you can see a list getting stored in a binary file with the help of command as with open first. First is the name of the physical file which is getting created on the hard disk. WB means we are opening the file in write mode. It is a binary, so that is why it is B. And then we are dumping the content of this list into file. Once it is dumped, if you look at the content of the file in Notepad, it will look like this. If you want to retrieve the content back from the file, you have to write another code which is going to carry with open first RB. RB means read binary as F. So you will be writing pickle.load. So it is going to extract the content from this form back to the list form. So dump is used for saving the content and load is used to retrieving the content back from the pickle or binary file. So it is very important for you to know whatever way you have created the file, you will be able to retrieve the file exactly in the same manner in the binary file. So saving the file is known as pickling the file and retrieving back from the binary file is known as unpickling from the file. This is another example where instead of list, we are dumping the content of a dictionary and we are retrieving back the content of dictionary. So you can see roll number and 12. So roll number and 12 is a key value pair. The second key value pair is name and Amar. When you will pickle it, the data will be saved in the file in this manner. And when you will unpickle it, your data will be retrieved back exactly in the same manner as it was created. Next, in this example, you can see that user is allowed to create his binary files. So we are taking the inputs from the user as MNO and name. And once these two contents are accepted from the user, we are dumping it into the pickled module. So with the help of this square brackets, we are clubbing MNO and name inside the list, and with the help of dump, this content gets stored in F. With the help of this loop, we can repeat this for multiple lists getting saved onto the file member.dat. So you can see here in the menu, we have write, read, add, and exit as the option. So if we are opting for write option, we are coming to this write data function where MNO will be entered, Ramu Kaka will be entered, and with the help of Y, we'll transfer the content onto the file as combination of 1 and Ramu Kaka. And then second time when the user will enter 3 and Jamnabai, and 3 and Jamnabai will form another list and will be dumped in the member.dat next to that. And if we'll say no, it will terminate the loop. So right now in member.dat, we are assuming that we have entered two contents of list. With the help of this particular code, we are retrieving the data back from the binary file, and this time opening the file in read mode, and we are trying to retrieve each record, each list separately, and after retrieving the list, we are displaying it separately. So if you opt for R as the option in the program, it will retrieve 1 Ramu Kaka and 3 Jabna Pai. Next, if we are writing the same code which we have written for save data, where we have opened the file in WB, now we are opening the file in AB. So if the file is already created, it will allow you to add more content at the bottom of the file. So you can see here we are entering the value as 5 and Billu Bhai. So after two lists, one more list will be added with content as 5 and Billu Bhai. So the code is same as earlier. Only difference in this code is in place of writing WB, we are writing here AB. WB means write mode, which is not going to help you to add more data. It will recreate a new file if at all we call that particular function. So AB does not create a new file. If the file is already existing, the file pointer, that is file cursor, will move to bottom of the file. Next, after adding that content, if we call back read data function once again, this time you'll be able to see there are 3 lists got added, 1 Ramu Kaka, 3 Jamna Bai, and 3 Billu Bhai. So this is going to be the menu for the same code, which you can see that we have all the options, and this is how they are called. These are the same options. Now, this is another method with the help of which a pickled file can be created. You can look at the code. In this particular code, rest of the logic is exactly same. Instead of using dump in the loop, this time we are making list of lists. So in the beginning, we are creating an empty list, and every time when the new content is getting added, that is appended next to the list of list. And when the entire content is accumulated in list of lists, with the help of a single pickle.dump, we dump the entire list of list. We can also call it as nested list inside member.dat. So this is a separate method. In the earlier case, we were dumping each list separately, one after another. In the second logic of mine, we are using the entire content of list as nested list at the bottom of the code. So in one go, the entire list of list is going to be saved. So right now, if we opt for W as the option, 101 Manoj will be added as the first content. So it will be the first list element inside R. The second list element will be 102 and Kia Sen. So we'll be having another list separated by comma inside R. So we have right now two lists within a bigger list. One first list containing 101 Manoj, and the second list containing 102 Kia Sen. After this, if we retrieve the data with the help of RB mode, we will retrieve the entire content in one go. So if you remember earlier read operation which we performed, in that inside the loop we were retrieving each list separately. Now this time we are retrieving the list of list in one go. With the help of this command, list of list is retrieved, and with the help of this for loop we are displaying each list separately. So 101 Manoj and 102 Kia Sen is displayed. Look at this content. In earlier example, you saw that we were using AB as the mode for adding member at the bottom of the file. Here, instead of using AB, I am using RB plus. That means my file is allowed to be read as well as to be saved. So in one go, the entire content of the file is retrieved with the help of r is equal to pickle.load. That means I'll be having list with me, which is containing two rows, that is two lists in that. And with the help of this loop, we are going to allow user to type MNO and name once again. And with the help of r.append, we will be adding the new list at last. So as R is containing two lists inside it, with the help of append, we have added one more list in that. And this data, let's assume, is 106 and Herline. Once this entire list is ready and your loop is over, you will move the file cursor back to the beginning of the file, and then you'll dump the new content in the file. That means earlier, before opening this particular function, we had two lists within a list. Now, after closing this particular function, we'll be having three lists within a bigger list. So if we run our read data function over here, it is going to retrieve three. That is, first is 101 Manoj, second is 102 Kia Sen, and 106 Harleen. So that new list got added and displayed. Now, if at all we want to search for a particular member with the help of MNO, and you want, if MNO matching value is found, you want to display the entire content, then you again read the entire content of the member.dat with the help of this command. Ask user which MNO he wants to search for, and with the help of for L in R, we'll be able to retrieve each list, and from each list you just check the first index value of the list. If it is matching with MNO, you will display that. So basically what we are doing here, as you already know, that at the time when we were saving, the 0 index value was MNO and the 1 index value was name. So we already know that L0 is carrying MNO, so we are comparing it with the MNO the user is looking for. If it matches, we'll display the entire content. If in the entire loop it is not able to find any matching value, in that case this else will be executed, where it will display not found. So if at all file does not exist, it is going to show file not found. So you can see here, if we opt for S, that is search, and we enter 101 as the member number, it will find 101 and it will display 101 Manoj. And second time, if we search for it and if we enter 108, obviously 108 was not part of file content, so it is going to display a message as not found. Now, this is the last function. We have done creation, appending, we have done displaying, searching, and this is updation of member in a file. So let's assume this particular logic we wanted for changing the name of the person which is asked by the user. So first of all, with the help of r is equal to pickle.load, we are reading the entire content of the file, and then we are extracting each list from the file, displaying it to the user, and if user says that it requires change, then we are modifying L1. As you already know, L0 is MNO and L1 is name. So we are asking the new name from the user. And once user has modified all the required lists in the member.dat, seek with the help of f.seek0, move the file cursor to the beginning of the file, and then with the help of pickle.dump, we'll save that back into the file. So the idea was, if you are extracting the entire file in one go, you can apply the same method of updation which you have used for updating normal list of list. So the same logic applies here. Now, instead of list, we could have made list of dictionaries also. So the list of dictionaries also would have gone exactly in the same logic. So you can see here, when you click on U, and it is displaying 101 Manoj. If you say no, it will move to the next 102 Kia Sen. You say no, It is displaying 106 Harleen. If you say yes, it will ask for new name, and new name you have entered as Darlene. So if you go to display function now, in display function, that modification you can see 101 Manoj, 102 Kia Sen without any change. 106 is coming out with Darlene. So this is after update display. So this is what you can write as the menu. See, the same options displayed. Now, what is happening in both these cases, that is very important for you to understand. The first case where we were dumping the independent list, this is what was happening. Just look at the content which is getting created. So 1 Arun without any comma, 113 Jaya without any comma, 18 comma Tara without any comma, 15 Loveleen. So when you perform independent dump one by one, you are dumping the content like this, and the last content will be 15 Lovely. If the same thing would have got done in the second logic, we are first of all accumulating the entire list of list. Once this entire content is ready, in one go we will be writing pickle.dump r comma f, and the entire content will be saved onto the file. So this, you can say that nested list pickled with single dump, and here each list pickled with independent dump. The same thing goes for unpickling also. When you are unpickling, you will be retrieving each list separately here, and first list will be 12 Varun. The second time when you repeat this command, it will be 13 Jaya. Third time when you will repeat this command, 18 Tara. And fourth time when you are repeating this command, it is going to be 15 Lovely. So each list unpickled with independent load. Whereas when you will write r is equal to pickle.loadf, it is going to read the entire content of the file in one go. So it is going to be nested list unpickled with single. Next topic which we have to do is CSV files. Reading, writing data in text file is a common and simple way to share information between programs. However, CSV is the most popular format for exchanging data nowadays, as it can be directly used in text editors, spreadsheets, and databases. Let's learn how to read, process, and parse CSV from text files using Python. A CSV file is nothing but comma separated file, is a type of text file that uses specific structures to arrange tabular data. Because it is a plain text, it can contain only actual text data. In other words, printable ASCII or Unicode characters. The CSV file has a structure. You already know that CSV means comma separation, but instead of comma, there can be any other delimiter also. But in that case, delimiter has to be specified. In both these examples of data, you can see delimiter is used as comma, but the problem comes when comma itself is part of your data. In such situation, in CSV, we enclose the data inside quotes. Like in this case, you can see in the address, we have comma as the content. So we have enclosed the data inside double quotes. Now, for performing operations on CSV file, if you want to read the content from a CSV file, the method required for reading the content is going to be CSV reader. It will work only when CSV file is opened in R mode. R means read mode. So you will be opening it like this. You will be writing with open file name comma mode as CSV file object, and you will be specifying reader object is equal to CSV dot reader, and inside that you will be specifying this file object, and then you'll be specifying the delimiter. The default delimiter is comma. So if you do not specify delimiter is equal to comma, it will still work exactly in the same manner. So you can look at the example. For making use of CSV.reader, you have to import CSV. And after this, if you are writing with open score.csv, comma r as CF, CF will become the CSV file object. And if you write CSV.reader along with CF, comma delimiter is equal to comma. So if you do not specify the second parameter, then also it will mean the same. So it will read the entire content of CSV in one go in a variable called CV. So if you write next CV, it will display the first row of the CSV file. If you repeat this, it will display the second row of the CSV file. If you repeat this, it will display the next row of the CSV file. But this is not a good method for retrieving the content from the file, because you will never know how many rows are there in the CSV file. So this is not a better way. Instead of that, as you have already collected the content in CV, you can simply write for C in CV, then print C, so you can see the content got displayed. So in both these cases, whether you have done it like this or whether you have done it like this, the content is going to be displayed exactly in the same manner. In the first method, we are not checking whether the next CV is available or not. We are simply trying it out. In the second one, automatically it will not find new lines in the CSV file. It will not display anything. And in this next, you'll be getting error if you are writing extra next CV. Now, you have seen how to read the content from CSV file. Now we have to learn about how to write content in CSV file. For writing content in CSV file, the method required is csv.writer. And for writing individual content, we'll be making use of method which is write row. So in this example, which is shown here, you can see we are opening the score.csv file in write mode, and after opening it, we are initiating an object csv.writer, and cf is the file of the csv file object, and delimiter is optional parameter here. So once this cv object is ready with you, you can keep on adding new rows with the help of write row method. So you'll be writing cv.write row for the first row, and in that you will be writing a list content in each of the rows. So as many as times you will repeat this command, that many rows will be created in my CSV file. So this is another example which you can see. We have opened a book.csv CSV file in append mode, and we have an object. You can see here we are not specifying the delimiter. So CW is the object. In CW object, we are adding title, auth, and price. This particular row will become the title row. And then in the content, we are writing mermaid, the doll, and spider. So these are the three rows getting added in CSV file. For displaying the content from CSV file, we'll be using reader. So we'll be writing CR is equal to csv.reader, CF, and then for R in CR will allow you to extract each row from the CSV file, and with the help of printer, you'll be able to display each row on screen to the user. And if at all this file is not existing, you will get file not found error. With the help of this menu, you can navigate through both the functions. So if you write save, as we had constant rows in the file, so that they got added. And when we say D, it is going to display the same content which we added. So you can see title, auth, and price, mermaid, Jack, and 275, the doll, Pran, and 200, and spider, Tars, and 300. Now, this is another example where we have write user data in CSV files. So earlier case, we were writing the content, and here we are allowing user to write the content. So we are opening the file in W mode, and we are initiating an object CW with the help of csv.writer, and there is no delimiter. That means it is going to be comma separation. So we are taking inputs from the user as INO, item, and quantity, and we are framing a list with the help of these three data. And then with the help of cw.writeRow, we are adding a row in a CSV file. And with the help of this loop, you will be allowed to add as many as rows in CSV file as you want. In this particular case, I have not added any header row or title row. So it is only going to contain the data. So you can see INO added as 12, pen, and 200. So this is going to form the first list in the CSV file. Second list in the CSV file will be 15, pencil, and 100. Third list will contain 18, eraser, and 250. So let's assume we have 3 rows in the CSV file, and so you have seen we have added 3 rows in the CSV file. This is another example where you can see instead of adding rows one by one, we can also add all the rows in one go. So you can keep on appending that, and then at the end, instead of writing right row, you can use right row. So you can look at the previous example where we are writing right row and we are transferring each row separately. In this, we can add all rows in one go. This is how you will be retrieving the data from the CSV file. So you will be making use of cr is equal to csv.reader, and then with the help of for L in cr, we'll be retrieving each row of the CSV file. Now, if you want to search for a particular data from a CSV file, let's assume we are making use of cr is equal to csv.reader. Okay, so here you can see that we are creating an object cr and we are asking user to find out which INO he requires to search for. So we'll be running a loop. We'll be extracting each row. We'll be extracting each row from the CSV file, and then as you already know that item number is present on L0th location, you will compare. If INO is matching with L0, then you will be displaying that to the user. And if at all this loop is over and you did not find INO at all, you will be displaying INO not found. So in this particular case, if the user enters 18, it will display 18 user eraser and 250 as the result. If the file is not present, it is going to show you file not found. Now, in this particular function, we are trying to find out where the amount of quantity is less than 150, and if you want to reorder that, you want to display that list on screen where the reordering is required. So we are opening the CSV file with the help of CR object. We are initializing RO as 0. We are extracting each list from CR, and wherever we find the integer converted L2 is less than 150, that means it is required to be reordered. So we'll be displaying that particular item and we'll be incrementing in the value of RO, so that at the end, if the number of items are required to be reordered, at the end we can display these many items is requiring reorder. This is the main menu which can call all of the functions. With this, we end today's session. I hope you enjoyed it, and we would like your feedbacks as soon as possible. And I request if you and your friends have not joined yet the Python group, I would request all of you to join Python for +2 group, which is a closed group. It is a closed community only for those teachers who are teaching computer science and informatics practices in CBSE code. Thank you very much.